Today we're looking at lighting the oxyacetylene equipment. We'll notice that the gases have already been set on the regulators. You would always, I should say, wear leather gloves when using this equipment, but for the purposes of the demonstration I'm not using gloves. You'll notice on the blowtorch, oxyacetylene blowtorch, there's a couple of things to note. You have two different nozzles. When lighting the equipment, you turn the fuel on first. It's always important to light the fuel because that's the only flammable gas that's coming out. The oxygen is not flammable, it's only used to enhance the temperature of the flame. So we turn the red fuel tap on first, and those two gases, when they're coming through, will mix together in the mixing chamber and obviously be lit at the blowtorch tip. So we're going to attempt to light that now. So in lighting this equipment, it's always good to put yourself in this situation, in a school situation, put yourself between the gas bottles and where you're lighting it. So you're actually lighting the equipment away, or lighting the blowtorch away from the equipment. And when lighting the gas, you should turn this nozzle on the blowtorch, the fuel nozzle, the acetylene nozzle, around approximately 3 millimeters in diameter in readiness to light the flame. You don't want to turn this valve right around because there's two things will happen. You will ignite a gas tip that is having a heavy flow of gas, which can cause a very large ignition to a flame, or quite simply it will not light. So we'll turn that round when we get the flint gun ready. The flint gun is the best equipment to use to light this type of apparatus. So we'll turn that around approximately 3 millimeters and light the flame. Now you'll notice immediately there's lots of burnt gas. So we quickly increase the flow of gas to remove some of that black soot or the burnt gas, and then we're slowly turning on the oxygen nozzle, and that changes the nature of the flame up to what we call a neutral flame. The neutral flame has equal parts oxygen and acetylene, and it's the most obvious and most recognised flame you're using this equipment, because this is where you do most of your heating and bending, most of your forge work, and also oxy welding, fusion welding. Now let's assume that we have been using the equipment now and ready to shut that down. If you recall, when we lit the equipment, you'll notice the first thing we lit was the fuel. The easy thing to remember is to extinguish the flame, we turn off the fuel. So for people to remember, to light its fuel on, to extinguish its fuel off. And it's a very simple little formula to remember. And the reason for that is, if we turn the oxygen off first, we can get a vacuum created in the hose where the flame can, what we call, flash back up through the equipment, back up to the regulators, which can cause other problems down the track with wear and tear into the regulators. So we always turn fuel off first. So when I turn that off, we get a little cracking sound, and we know that the oxygen is still flowing, so there's no possibility of a burn back or a flashback, and we turn the oxygen off.